This is MaxPreps Friday Night Live.
Happy Halloween as we welcome you into MaxPreps and our show we call Friday Night Live. I am Steve Montoya. Now, I don't know if it's a trick or a treat that we have Zach Poff back on set.
It's gotta be a treat.
All right, I'll give it to you. It is a treat that Zach Poff is joining us once again as Chris Stonebreaker is here recovering from his injury.
Yeah, and you know, Chris is like our Calvin Johnson, so I figured I would just be the Golden Tate here for a couple weeks and step up a little bit, so.
All right, well, we will hear from Chris just in a bit, but for now, since Halloween is upon us, we have to show off my favorite mascot and maybe the scariest mascot in all of the country. Let's get to the photos right now of the Headless Horseman. Sleepy Hollow's Headless Horseman has got to be the coolest mascot, not just in New York, but all of America. Now, 364 days out of the year, Pac is a normal 15-year-old male horse owned by John Catalfumo, but the duo comes out on homecoming to ignite the crowd. And Zach, it ignites all of us here at MaxPreps and around the country. Wow, that is awesome.
For sure the scariest mascot in the country. And for maybe the scariest mascot to the scariest school in all of high school football. And for more on that, let's bring in our national football editor, Mr. Steven Spiewak.
Guys, Cathedral High School in Los Angeles is probably the last school I'd want to get stuck at all alone late at night. Guys, it is built on an old Catholic cemetery. The school opened its doors in 1925, but prior to that, the land served as the Old Calvary Cemetery, a place where local Catholics of considerable means were buried. And according to the history of the cemetery, the rumor has it that some people snuck in their loved ones overnight and just buried them in the ground unofficially because they couldn't afford the proper burial costs for the proper procedure. So, as the school has done renovations throughout its 90-year history, it has uncovered coffins, tombstones, and even bones. Now, it's very proud of its history as a former cemetery. They have tombstones around the perimeter of the athletic facility, and most students and teachers don't really talk much about the possibility of the place being haunted. However, Martin Farfan, Cathedral's president, told me that maintenance workers through the years swear that late at night, not only do they hear noises, but they feel a presence. Guys?
Wow. I'd be scared to go to high school there. It'd be hard to sleep at night.
Yeah, you get the Headless Horseman there, you got a nice combo going. Wow. All right, now we know all of you heading out to games tonight will be all dressed up, so we want to see those photos from the games, and we have a contest going on right now on Instagram. Hit up MaxPreps October. It's the last week. You can win some swag. That's our October Photo Challenge. Hit us up right now on Instagram.
And while we're speaking of social, don't forget, hit us up on Twitter at MaxPreps. Also hit us up at MaxPreps Video. Any top play you see this weekend, hashtag MP Top Play. Hit us up on Twitter and also like us on Facebook and check us out on Instagram.
Hey, we're telling the truth. If you use MP Top Play, you never know. You could end up on these, our top 10 plays of the week. All right, here we go, Zach. It's Halloween week here on Friday Night Live and our top 10 plays of the week. So we're going to start with the walking the line. Looks like QB is going to talk to his O-line, but no, it goes to wide receiver Jay McMibbin, who tosses it deep to the QB Taquan Marshall, starting us off with some tricks, and what a treat there for the touchdown.
We got some more tricks and treats here for play number 9 out in Connecticut. Check out the trickeration. The quarterback, once again, kind of doing the walk in the line right here on the 2-point conversion. The running back hits it. Wide receiver finds his man for the touchdown. Mike Collins catches the touchdown. As you see, Michael cross the wide receiver. So easy throw. Wide open. Play number 9.
All right, here we go. Play number 8 in the state of Indiana. Another trick play, of course. This one goes to running back Brendan Barrett, who tosses it deep. Yes, he's open. Why is this the top play of the week? Because of this move right there, just shaking him for the touchdown. That's Devon Jackson. That's a 63-yard touchdown. Wide open, he makes the catch, but it looks like he might be going down, but no, it's the defender who goes down. The cheerleaders are happy for good reasons.
The cheerleaders should always be happy, right? I tell you what, the J. Sarah cheerleaders were happy last Friday night. Let's check out what they did on this play. Nick Williams, the quarterback, throws it deep. Isaiah Diego Williams with the grab, turns on the Jets. He's got one man to beat. See ya. 30, 20. Don't go Sammy Watkins just yet. He gets it across for the touchdown. Big time win for J. Sarah. First time they've ever knocked off Mater Dei.
All right, Zach, you know I love defense, so we got to get a defensive play in the top 10 plays of the week, and this is a real good one. What an interception there by Josh Kirk. Zach, who says cornerbacks are just wide receivers who can't catch? Try telling that to the man Kirk right there. He'll say, I don't think so. Try making catches like that.
Now back to offense here for play number 5, and check out as Kanan Gabel hits his man. One-handed grab, Chris Watts for the 17-yard touchdown. We'll get a second look right here. Outstanding one-handed grab by Mr. Watts. Broadneck now 8-0 this year and landing on the top 10 plays here at number 5.
Ooh, what a catch there. All right, to Texas we go. And this is why Mr. Lodge is one of the top recruits in all of the country, because he makes plays like this all the time. We could show him each and every week, but we're showing this one because this was on national TV. This was a huge game, the top game of the week last week, and this is why he's so highly recruited and why Cedar Hill is a top 25 team nationally. What a catch there by Mr. Lodge and the score.
From Texas to Florida for play number 3, Coral Springs Charter quarterback A.J. Miller throws this one up for his guy, Calvin Jackson Jr. And check out the Antonio Brown type of grab right there. The one-handed stick him back of the end zone. This would have counted in the NFL too. He gets both feet down. Hey, maybe it's time for Calvin Johnson Jr. to go to Calvin Johnson Jr. and switch that name from Jackson to Johnson there. Looking like Megatron with that TD for play number 3.
And that's only play number 3. What would play number 2 look like? Here it is, the tip, field goal, the block. Tyler Evans catches it. And Zach, we're going to see why this is so special right here. He's finding the space right here. He just looks absolutely down as he's pulled by his pads, but he keeps his feet somehow. And that's 102 yards later. First the block right here, and then it just falls in the hands of Evans. He says, why not take this out? And his blocker says, all right, here we go. Let's get this into the end zone. And even his sideline right here has to be thinking, oh, great job getting it back to the 45. What? He's still on his feet? You got to get into the end zone if you make a run like that. And that's what he did. That's 102 yards in Louisiana. Wow, I'm exhausted.
I don't know how you top that with play number 1, but Derek Dick knows the answer. Check out what the athlete for A&M Consolidated did on this kickoff return. It seems like if you want to be play number 1 here, you got to have a punt return or a kickoff return to the house. Check out the nasty stiff arms delivered right there. He's got a seam, and it's always nice when you got the kicker to beat. He goes Gronkowski right here with the Gronk-like stiff arm, and he's going to take this one into the house for the touchdown. And you get a second look right here. Just a good job breaking tackles, dishes out a stiff arm right there, and a good burst right there to get through the defenders. And it's always nice when you got the kicker to beat. He treats him like a kicker right here with that stiff arm. Get out of my way. Derek Dick does it once again. This kid had a play like that last year, and he is the top play this week.
Wow,
what a stiff arm.
Yeah, those are some good ones. We got some good ones coming up later on in the show. And as the playoffs roll around, I think we're even going to see, we're going to even see better plays than that. And speaking of playoffs, let's pull up our playoff map right now. The state in red, Alaska, is completely done. They have crowned all their state champs. The teams the states in blue are in postseason mode now, and the states in the dark color are right behind. It's that time. Football playoffs in America. Find all the brackets by heading to maxpreps.com/playoffs. Woo!
And
love this time of year.
Ohio, not yet in blue, still regular season. And for more on one of the biggest games on the calendar this year, let's bring in Steven Spiewak to talk about one of the biggest games in the state of Ohio.
Guys, the regular season is going to close out with a bang in Northeast Ohio. The Holy War, as it was once known, takes place this weekend when St. Ignatius and St. Edward lock horns, two of the top teams in Northeast Ohio, two of the top programs in the state. This is the 52nd meeting between these two programs, and historically, St. Ignatius has held a slight edge, but heading into this weekend's game, St. Edward is probably the favorite, although Ignatius has won 3 out of the last 4 meetings. St. Edward began the season ranked in our national top 25. They had a couple losses to Elder and Bergen Catholic, but they are back on track. They are 7-2 this season. They are led by quarterback Brett Keene, Ohio State commit at wide receiver Alex Stump, and Sean Crawford, who is on his way to Notre Dame. And then for St. Ignatius, led by their legendary head coach Chuck Kyle, who has won 11 state titles at the school. They feature 6'4" defensive lineman Draymond Jones, who is committed to The Ohio State University, and also from the class of 2016, big junior offensive lineman Liam Eichenberg. Guys, I expect a very physical, hard-fought game. I think it'll be low scoring. I picked St. Ignatius in the upset because in a game like this, sometimes it seems like surprises are almost expected, but I think it'll be a really good game when these two teams get together.
Hey Steve, we're about to pull up our top 25 national rankings presented by the Army National Guard, and when we pull these up, we'll see Bishop Gorman there at top. They're 10-0. They just wrapped up their regular season. De La Salle Allen right behind, but at the end we kind of see some new teams. And tell us about the new team in the state of Alabama.
Sure, that's Clay Chalkville out of Pinson, Alabama. They are now 10-0, and guys, no team has come within 10 points of Clay Chalkville this season. They have a signature victory over Niceville from Florida. It's the only loss that Niceville has sustained this year, and Clay Chalkville has also defeated Shays Valley and Pinson Valley. Jerry Hood has done a phenomenal job there year in and year out. This is one of the top programs in the state of Alabama. We're accustomed to seeing Hoover represent the Crimson State, but this year Clay Chalkville appears to be the team to beat. Hoover has 2 losses. Clay Chalkville is undefeated. I think those two teams will collide in the Class 6A playoffs. Guys, going to be a fun year for playoffs in Alabama, particularly that 6A bracket.
Yeah, very impressive what Clay Chalkville's been doing so far this year. Really been one of the hottest football teams.
Definitely.
And speaking of hottest, let's check out the viral videos this week. And we got to start with one of the craziest 2-point conversions you are ever going to see. Walla Walla High out in Washington. The holder, Reed Magnagi, muffs that. Check out what the kicker, Ethan Gardner, does. Gets it back to the holder, who gets it back to the kicker exactly how the offensive or special teams coordinator drew it up. Check out the wheels by Gardner, the kicker. He takes it in for the unconventional 2-point conversion. You get another look right here. And it really started with the bad snap. And just a heads-up play by Gardner, the kicker, flips it, and the holder somehow keeps it alive, and perfect flip back. Ethan Gardner, hey coach, I want to play a little bit of running back and wide receiver.
There was some comments on the video saying, we see that all the time.
I've never seen
so.
that.
Yeah, anyway. Moving on to Minka Fitzpatrick, and why this does so well is because he's one of the top recruits in all of the country, and he's headed to Alabama. The 5-star recruit had 3 touchdowns in the first quarter.
Wow.
He did a couple on offense, as shown here. I don't know how the defensive back could cover him. Then he also did it on the defensive side of the ball, where he's likely going to play in college. You're going to see the pick 6 right here. And he takes this one back to the house. Not only can he catch, he's got the moves. Alabama's lucky to have him.
Let's be welcome. We'll have more on Minka here in a sec. Getting to another viral play. Wichita Falls Rider down by 3, under 10 seconds to go. Back of the end zone, T.J. Vasher gets a foot down. Touchdown with 3 seconds left. You'll get another look at it right here. Look at the throw Desmond Jackson throws. Puts it in the only spot T.J. Vasher can get it. Touchdown, book it, game-winning TD.
Now this next kickoff return might be my favorite all year long so far.
I'm with you.
Yeah, Jordan Woodson from Mount Pleasant in Tennessee. He's using some great moves right here. He's going to have a nice stiff arm there. But this is like me running the ball. Chris Stonebreaker's coming to try to tackle me. And get off me, Chris!
Boom.
Wow. That's a kicker coming to try to make a tackle. Now, I love the effort by the kicker to come in there and try to help his team. But that's why we see in the NFL all the time kickers kind of run away. Whew. That's an NFL type hit right there by Jordan Woodson. And then when he hits him so hard, he still can make the moves at the end to get into the end zone. Wow, what a run.
That kid, one of the best special team players in the country. And speaking of best players, Tucker Israel for Lake Nona, one of the best QBs in the nation, has posted back-to-back 600-yard games. In 100-plus years of existence of high school football in the state of Florida, no quarterback has ever done that. Tucker Israel became the third player in national high school football history to have 2 600-yard games. The Clemson commit has been balling.
All right, those are our viral videos so far this week. Now, would have been viral if we had footage of Chris Stonebreaker actually hurting his knee in rec ball, because he's a rec ball legend.
He balls so hard, you know?
Yeah, to see a guy like that go down, would have been great.
He'll be back.
Yeah, he'll be back, and he's back right now, and he's hanging out in the Max right now with some special guests. Chris, how you doing, bud?
Steve, I feel great. I mean, at least as good as, say, Alex Smith did after Kaepernick took his position. But anyways, I'm here in the Max at the corporate office of MaxPreps in beautiful Cameron Park, California. I'm with my friends in low places and nerds and Ghostbusters. We got loofahs and Tinkerbells. We even found Waldo today. But out of everything that you can see here, from the ping pong table to the basketball court, you know what else we added to the Max? A roller coaster. Check this out. Yeah, speechless. I'm speechless. Anyways, happy Halloween to you guys. I'm looking forward to walking and talking with both of you guys on FNL. And we got D-Rose, Black Mamba, and Chris Stonebreaker coming back from an ACL injury as fast as any of those guys. So back to you guys in the studio.
How about that roller coaster?
Well
Is that
done.
that's a costume right there. That's the
Yeah,
best costume right there.
I think I even saw Garth Brooks in there, too.
Garth Brooks was hanging out. I wasn't playing the guitar, though. I mean, I thought he'd at least
Yeah.
jam out a little bit.
Well, maybe we'll go in there later for a little concert.
Oh, yeah, of course.
All right, good to see Chris back on his feet.
And I know Stonebreaker thought he was going to be one of the hottest recruits coming out of high school, but let's talk about recent commits this week, who are some of the top recruits in all of high school football. And we got to start with American Heritage's Tarveras McFadden. This kid is really one of the best cornerbacks in the country out in Plantation, Florida. And earlier today, he committed to Florida State, the 6'3", 200-pound cornerback, number 5 corner on 247's composite rankings, 31st overall rated player on 247 also, and he helped lead American Heritage to a 5A state title last year. Plays under Mike Rump, played with the San Francisco 49ers for a little bit, and also one of the best cornerbacks in the U's history. So this kid's gonna be an impressive player at Florida State down the road.
All right, to Texas now we go, and we're going to find Carlos Strickland. He committed this past week to Texas Tech. The 6'5", 195-pound, 4-star wide receiver is a stud. And guess what, Zach? He plays for one of the best teams in all of the country, Skyline. They're ranked number 7 overall in the MaxPreps Excellent 25 rankings presented by the National Guard. No wonder they're so good. They got playmakers like Mr. Strickland.
Yeah, Strickland and Savon Rollison, 2 of the best wideouts in the country. Now looking at one of the best running backs, Timber Creek's Jaquez Patrick. He committed to Florida State back on Monday, and this kid is really one of the best running backs. 6'2", 200-pound, 4-star tailback, 3rd-rated running back among the 2015 class on 24/7's composite rankings. So far this year, 1,918 yards rushing, 27 TDs. He's also 4 for 4 throwing the rock with 2 TDs. And he's currently 7th all-time in the state of Florida high school football history with 7,323 rushing yards.
All right, we're going to head to the defensive side of the ball and back to Texas. That's where we're going to find Cameron Towson, 4-star outside linebacker and number 20 overall in the composite rankings by 24/7 Sports. Committed to Texas last Sunday. Imagine having a guy like that on your defensive side of the ball. No wonder Ridge Point is 8-0, and they have allowed just 73 points so far. That is a defensive playmaker.
I tell you what, the University of Texas probably wishes they could get him a little earlier than 2015. And speaking with studs, how about Benedictine's Jerome Baker, the 6'2", 210-pound four-star athlete? Probably going to go to Ohio State as a linebacker, and he recently decommitted from Florida and went to Ohio State. So I'm just going to say he's taking the same road path as Urban Meyer, and Urban Meyer really one of the best recruiters in the country, and he's getting himself a stud. Jerome Baker, the number 4 athlete on 24/7's composite rankings, also the 2nd-rated player in the state of Ohio.
All right, time to bring back in our national football editor, Steve Spiewak, and we use this cliche all the time, but it's true. The rich just keep on getting richer.
Guys, right now, it's no surprise who has the #1 recruiting class in the 24/7 team rankings for the class of 2015. It's none other than Nick Saban and the Alabama Crimson Tide, with just an impressive haul from top to bottom in a class that will probably grow stronger in the next few months. On offense, guys, they have playmakers like Calvin Ridley, who had an explosive summer, particularly at the opening, where he made this famous one-handed grab, and he made it look easy. Unfortunately, this season at Monarch, he's only been allowed to play 3 games because he extended over the age limit. He will actually be 20 years old in December, so he is a mature player ready for college football, and you gotta guess that right now he's simply just preparing for when he sets foot on campus in Birmingham. The Crimson Tide also have a very impressive dual threat quarterback, and this time they dipped in not to Southern Florida, but to Southern California for Blake Barnett from Corona Santiago, and he actually takes the spot in this class of a different quarterback who was committed from Southern California, Ricky Town. He is now committed to USC. Blake Barnett was committed to Notre Dame. As the quarterback dominoes fall, guys, Blake Barnett is heading to Alabama now, and he's a good one. This is another guy who's really emerged on the scene over the last 12 months, and he's just getting more and more polished in his game, and he has a very bright future ahead of him. And now onto the defensive side of the ball. Young man, we just saw Minkah Fitzpatrick. He had 3 offensive touchdowns in the first quarter last week in St. Peter's Prep's big victory over Union City. Guys, he had 5 touchdowns in the first half. He is a difference maker no matter where he plays. He has great size at the cornerback position. He's been a varsity contributor since his sophomore year, and he has a very, very bright future playing for Nick Saban in the secondary there at Alabama. And we'll stay in the secondary, guys. Deontay Thompson. Alabama goes into Texas this time, so they recruit everywhere that there are elite players. South Florida, Southern California, Texas, it doesn't matter for Nick Saban. Deontay Thompson from Stark High School in West Orange, he committed to the Crimson Tide way back in February of 2013, a big 6'2", 180-pound safety. And I think what we're starting to see now is high school defensive backs who have hopes of playing in the NFL recognize that Alabama is a great stepping stone to achieve that goal.
All right, thanks, Steve. We hope you enjoy your Halloween. You get the candy you want. Now, speaking of college recruits, let's get to know one of the top ones in all of the country in this Get to the Game, presented by American Family Insurance.
Get to the Game, presented by American Family Insurance. DeMarcus Lodge, a star wide receiver at Cedar Hill High School in Cedar Hill, Texas, has dreams as big as the Lone Star State.
He wants to be the best football player to ever graduate from Cedar Hill. I think he understands that that dream can become a reality if he stays focused.
Playing college football is one of my biggest dreams. So every time I step on the field, I work hard.
My dream for DeMarcus is to be happy and to be successful in his own eyes. It's important for DeMarcus to have big dreams, because if you don't have any dreams, then you have nothing to work toward.
To me, football is second. Getting your college degree is first, because you always need something to fall back on.
The academics is definitely first. One time my dad was about to pull me from the team going into playoffs because I think I made a C.
If you don't focus on your grades, you can't go anywhere. This talent means nothing.
DeMarcus feels blessed to be surrounded by a large and vocal extended family.
DeMarcus's relationship with his family, I think, is one of the keys of why he's so special.
His motivation is the family, because if he sees all of us looking at him, he has it in his mind, okay, well, I need to do the best I can.
I just make sure he's surrounded by a good cast of people. I make sure he stays around family so he can get that support.
Right now, he has a lot that's coming at him. He needs to have different people that he can go to for different situations.
I have a great relationship with my family. I talk to them every day, and they tell me when I'm doing wrong. They don't pat my back too much, don't let me get too high on myself. They always bring me back down to earth. And my parents has done everything they can for me, and one day I want to do the same for them.
To watch more inspiring stories about these incredible athletes and their dreams, visit amfam.com/gettothegame.
Great stuff there. Gotta love the dad figure there for his dad being so hard on his grades.
I always love seeing you gotta get school done first if you want to play on the football field or any sport. And I think he's the best wide receiver in the country, but there's a ton of them. But
yeah, and in that package it said he was committed to Texas A&M. He recently actually decommitted from Texas A&M, so somebody's gonna come up with a really, really good player.
Yeah, that kid's a playmaker. He's a stud. We saw that against DeSoto. So
yep, for sure. Now the college. Speaking of college, we saw the seedings or the teams that potentially could get into the new playoff system, but one team, Zach, on the outside looking in is number 5 Oregon.
Oregon, they're sitting pretty though. You know, the SEC West has 3 of the top 4, so they're going to beat themselves up.
Yeah.
If Oregon wins out, they're locked to be one of the top 4 seeds for sure. And a lot of that has to do with Marcus Mariota.
Oh, yeah,
and we've got some footage of him back in high school at St. Louis High out in Hawaii. Was a 4-star QB coming out, the number 8 rated dual threat quarterback in the 2011 class, and of course the number 1 player in the state of Hawaii. During his final season, 2,600 yards passing, 32 TDs, 5 interceptions, 7 TDs rushing. Most importantly, though, St. Louis finished that year 11-1 and brought back the championship with that D1 state title.
And he wants to do the same now at the college level, winning the first ever national championship where there's a playoff. So it'll be interesting to see if he gets him in there.
I think he's going to make some plays here down the stretch and get into that Heisman talk.
Yeah, and you know he went off in high school.
All the time.
Good segue.
There you go.
You
got it.
Yeah.
You got it.
All right, thanks. Now we're going to talk about some high school players who went off. And we're going to start right now in the state of Mississippi. Nate Cohen, his coach might like him, Zach.
Just a little bit.
Yeah, just a little. He gave him the ball 40 times. Whew. But it was worth it because he rushed for 491 yards and 5 touchdowns. You could say Mr. Cohen went off.
You know, getting to Tommy Fassaggio, I guess his coach didn't like him that much because he only had 5 carries. But check this out. He had 359 yards and 5 touchdowns in their 48-7 win over Fort Lee Ridgefield Parks. Tommy Fassaggio, 71.8 yards a carry, went off.
Our producer, Scott, can we go back to that? I want to talk about the field. Now that field.
Look at around second base right here, baby.
Off.
He has got a walk-off home run going down the sideline. That's like the Raiders field right there.
Yeah, I love that. That field went off. All right, from that field to Colorado, Austin Myers, throw me the ball, QB. QB said, all right, 14 times for 314 yards and 4 touchdowns. That's a receiver making some plays for a QB. You can say Austin Myers went off.
Hey, from the Mile High to Red Bank Valley out in Pennsylvania, check out what Jake Doherty did. 40 of 69 passing, 614 yards, and 7 touchdowns. He set the new single-game state record for passing yards and became the first passer ever in the state of Pennsylvania to throw for over 600 yards. Jake Doherty went off. Time to complain. Yeah, I know.
We do a whole segment about going off, but we don't see any defense in the segment. That's strange.
Hey, offense puts people in the seats.
No, defense can put you in the seats. You want me to prove my point?
Let's do it.
Let's go. Let's get to some defensive players who went off. We're going to start right now in Maine. You heard me right. We're going all the way to Maine, and Zach Davis of Bonnie Eagle. Where did that ball go? Well, it's in his hands. I love the play, but I also love those uniforms there in Maine. Again, it looks like a scrum here. Who's got it?
A little bit of rugby.
Yep, and Zach Davis has it. Sideline's happy. I'm happy. Defense, great. Nice.
Hey, sticking with defenses and sticking with Zach's, how about Wes Forsyth out in Georgia against Lambert? He goes into the pile, he takes that rock, and it's daylight ahead. He can just, moonwalk this one in if he wanted. There's nobody within 15 yards. He takes it in for the defensive touchdown. We'll get another look at it right here. The thing I love most about him, he's a 5'7", 160-pound freshman, and he's balling like a senior, goes into the scrum, rips the rock, and it's daylight ahead, and he is going to take this one in for the touchdown for Wes Forsyth out in Georgia.
All right, to Texas we go, and one of the most storied programs in the state, Euless Trinity here, and that's Hernan Figueroa, who's going to pick this pass off. 91 yards later, he'll be in the end zone. I'm sure he'll give props to the defensive end or linebacker who blitzed in there from the outside and got pressure on that quarterback. That's why Mr. Figueroa has it. And the crowd on the side there is a little quiet as they see a Euless Trinity defensive back taking it all the way back 91 yards.
And sticking with Trinity, we're going to go out to Florida for Trinity Christian and check out the hit on the quarterback, and 4-star linebacker Jeff Holland picks up the trash and he takes it in for the defensive touchdown. We'll get another look at it right here. Big time hit, Dominique Ross coming off the edge. Boom! Jeff Holland scoops it up and he takes it in for the treat and the touchdown. This dude, one of the best linebackers, 4-star linebacker, and he's still uncommitted. So I think this play right here is going to get the juices flowing for all the other colleges.
And finally, we're going to go to the state of Pennsylvania. Quarterback tries to throw the post a little behind his receiver, and that's where Nazir Adderley picks it off, using that speed down the sideline. That's a 65-yard touchdown run, and that's a great-looking pick there. And when you have speed like this and blockers out front, nice crackback block right there, you can get into the end zone. All 5 of those guys, Zach, went off for their teams.
Now is your Halloween set. I mean, you got your defensive plays. So you good now? You don't need much candy tonight? You got that?
Probably still need a little treat.
A couple Snickers.
Yeah. All right. Hey, if you're going to go out to a game tonight, remember to quick score it. That's providing live scores from those games. So if anybody's out with their families trick-or-treating, you're providing those updates that they can follow along on their phone. I know I will be doing that. I will be trick-or-treating, but
not quick scoring?
I'll probably still quick score from the radio. But anyway, hope you have a great Halloween. Be safe out there. For Chris Stonebreaker, our injured guy, Zach Paul, I'm Steve Montoya, and all of us here at MaxPreps.com. Have a great weekend. This is Friday Night Live.
This is MaxPreps Friday Night Live.